What is up, guys? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're covering some more r/am I the butthole. If you'd like to skip the initial waffle, timestamps are in the description below and along the timeline, but if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too, and that is only if you enjoy the content, of course. Yesterday over on YouTube we had a new member, J Minor or J Minor. I am so sorry, I'm useless with names and I'm really sorry. I hope one of those was right, and thank you so much for supporting the channel. It really does mean the world to me. And thank you for everyone for taking the time out of your days to be here. It's just mind-blowing to me, so thank you so much. And with that being said, let's crack on with today's stories. Much love, guys. Our first story is called, Am I the Arsehole Because an Employee Died After I Fired Her? Throwaway account. I manage a retail shop in a tourist city. I hired an applicant named Bruce. He had a full-time job, but he was perfect for the 16-ish hours I was looking to cover. Months later, I was looking for seasonal help. Bruce recommended his roommate, a woman with a medical assistant background named Sally. Around the holidays, a lot of people step outside their chosen fields to earn more money. Sally's references checked out and I hired her. Sally's training period was uneventful. During that time, I learned she had type 1 diabetes. We worked out a break schedule so she could eat/test whenever she needed. It wasn't a hardship to accommodate her. Her performance was disappointing. When asking for ID with credit cards, she would make comments like, "You gained so much weight since this picture. This says you're blonde, your hair is blue, I can't accept this." She would argue about tasks saying she's a cashier and isn't paid enough to sweep the floor or tidy up merchandise. The job role specified both tasks. She didn't accept feedback gracefully. I told her her employment was in jeopardy. Bruce calls me. They are now married. They sped up the relationship because she needed the healthcare and he needed her to be on the lease of his apartment. On my end, all I had to do was have them sign liability waivers and schedule them apart. A few weeks later, I get a customer complaining Sally denied him service because she didn't like his tattoos. A second customer calls to complain that not only Sally denied service because of tattoos, but she pulled down her pants to show him a tattoo on her backside. On camera, I find Sally mooning the customer. I typed the termination notice and fired her. She refused to sign it or take a copy. I treated the situation as any other, stuck to she is no longer with the company if asked. Bruce didn't quit, but he got angry at me not long after. Sally had applied for a hospital job and was denied because I gave a bad reference. No one had called me for a reference. Sally told him I fired her for being messy and combative about breaks. This is not true, but I can't tell Bruce that. Unless Sally signs a disclosure, I can't share any details of her employment/termination with anyone. I called the hospital that denied Sally. The HR department told me that they had an application from her, but had not reached out for references as she was not being considered. What I infer from this is, Sally lied to Bruce about why she was fired, and when the job search went bad, she told Bruce I was ruining her prospects. Soon after Bruce calls, he'd been trying to call Sally, but she didn't answer. He went home from his other job and found her dead. Complications from diabetes. Bruce quits. He says she would still be alive if I hadn't fired her or sabotaged her, that I am the reason his wife is dead. I didn't tell him she lied to him. I don't see any way that would help him with his grief. Am I the arsehole? First, you gotta say, rest in peace, Sally. I can't see how OP can be the arsehole in the situation, you know. He tried to accommodate the diabetes as much as he could. He scheduled breaks and stuff so she could eat and deal with it. And I don't mean to speak ill of people that passed on, but it sounds like Sally was the arsehole in the situation, making things difficult for OP as a boss and for customers in general. Who the hell moons a customer to show a tattoo as a cashier? I mean, come on, man. And I probably need to read up a bit on it, but can diabetes do anything to you mentally as well? Like, make you act in weird ways like some of the behaviour we were seeing in this story? Because let's face it, it's not normal for people to comment and say, "Oh look, you've put on some weight," while looking at their ID. You can't say that sort of thing as a customer service representative, right? So it's just, there's some real odd behaviour there. But also Bruce is probably just lashing out because of his grief. But I can't say OP is responsible for Sally's passing, you know. But let's have a look at the comments below to see what they say. Chip104 says, "Holy shit, what a rollercoaster of a story. Not the arsehole. Rest in peace, Sally, but she's the arsehole in this situation." HS for Human says, "Not the arsehole. A healthcare system that makes staying alive conditional on employment is the arsehole, not you." Guava Jam says, "Info. How would her having a job keep her alive? If she was getting healthcare through Bruce, then shouldn't her healthcare need to be addressed?" OP replies to this saying, "I had to edit to stay within the character limits. Bruce's reasoning is that if Sally had been at work when she experienced medical distress, that there would have been someone available to call for help. He only has Sally's version of events. I fired her from the job she had out of hand and then sabotaged subsequent employment out of spite. Therefore, I am the reason that she was home alone instead of at work. Also, he quit through a group text to the entire staff claiming I was a murderer. More info, after Sally was terminated, she called every company she knew affiliated with our company, vendors, the landlord, the man on our FedEx route, etc., and claimed I was discriminating against her. This didn't hurt the business as everything was documented to the parties who were relevant, and the vendors/delivery companies were more focused on than anything about what she reported. And Time and Entropy says, not the arsehole, Bruce is mourning and he's lashing out. You're not responsible for her health or the complications that arose from it. You didn't sabotage her and she deserves to be fired. Many people want someone to blame when a loved one dies, but his accusation isn't rational. Now I turn this one to you guys. Incredibly sad situation in the story, but what do you make of it? Who's the arsehole in the story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 1. And our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for being grossed out by my girlfriend rarely washing her hair and not brushing it? Since quarantine started, my girlfriend has gotten very into a new hair routine. I guess one of her friends was trying it and she wanted to see if it would work for her hair. It's wavy/curly. Since starting it, her hair is definitely way more curly and it does look nice. However, as we were talking about it, she mentioned that she only washes her hair every 3 to 4 days, and I tried not to say anything, but I definitely had a shocked look on my face. So when she asked what was wrong, I said I thought that was unhygienic. She said it's healthier for it and said it's not a big deal because it's not like her hair smells or anything, which of course is not going to smell bad when you're loading it up with a bunch of hair products every day. On top of this, I realised yesterday she doesn't even brush her hair anymore. She was cooking and I came up and rubbed her back a bit and my fingers ran through her hair a bit. She said ow and pulled back a bit and asked if I'd please be careful since it hurts when her hair is tugged on like that. I said sure, fine, don't want to cause her pain, but I was also like, what do you do when you need to brush it then? She said she never brushes it, only uses a comb in the shower when her hair is wet, meaning she only combs her hair through every 3 to 4 days. I was like, what are you trying to grow dreads? To which she said, that wouldn't even happen, I'm white. Which wasn't even my point, but whatever. She was like, what is wrong? And I said, I just found it gross that she doesn't take basic care of her hair. She just laughed, and I said I don't know what I was talking about, so not to be a dick about it. Am I the arsehole? I don't think it's that ridiculous to be put off by someone not practicing regular hygiene, but she's very proud of her hair lately. Now there is an edit/update to this one, but we'll come to that bit in a second. I know a little bit about this. I speak to a hairdresser regularly who talks about this, and they often advise, generally you wash it every, I think it's 3 to 4 days, somewhere around there anyway, depending on your hair type, depending on whether you've got curly hair, afro type hair or whatever. But we'll have a quick look at the comments below to see what they say, and then we'll go to the updates. The Scooby Gang says, you're the arsehole. This isn't uncommon behaviour at all. Girls with curly/wavy hair, myself included, usually don't brush it while dry because of how puffy and frizzy it gets. And going 3 to 4 days without washing isn't rarely washing. It's normal. Hair produces its own oils and washing too frequently breaks them down, and that's what causes hair to become greasy. Your girlfriend is proud of her hair and trying a new routine that is clearly working for her, so why make her feel bad about it? Redoubtable South says, in quotes, I said I just found it gross and she didn't take basic care of her hair. She is taking basic care of her hair. It's good for hair, especially curly hair, to not be washed every day. She's following a tried and true method to best take care of that type of hair that she has. The problem here is that you are uneducated on the issue and have been brought up to erroneously believe that washing your hair every day is standard basic hygiene everyone must follow. I'm going to go with you're the arsehole because you're calling her gross before you even try to learn why she's doing what she's doing. And a lot of comments follow the same sort of trend, so we're going to head straight to the edits now. Edit, thank you for your comments everyone. I accept I'm the arsehole here. I looked up the curly girl method some of you posted about and apologised to my girlfriend. She said that tomorrow after she washes her hair, I can watch her put the products in and see specifically how she maintains the hair. So I'm going to do that. All is well here again. Edit 2, wow, this blew up. Again, I fully accept I was being an arsehole and I completely understand why. To give some more context, with the permission of my girlfriend. My girlfriend also lives with bipolar type 2, and in the past, changes in hygiene have always been an indicator of a mood swing. Obviously that wasn't the case this time around, but after talking it through, I realised that this past experience is part of what informed my own concern. Obviously that doesn't excuse my judginess, but I was just glad that after talking it through I was able to figure out for myself what was actually poking at me, not the hair, but rather me worrying that something else was going on. I'm really glad I know about the CGM now, and I'm actually really excited for my girlfriend to show me a routine tomorrow. Also, my girlfriend is having a fun time reading through the comments, and we're both laughing at how much an arse I was about this. She also now wants to make a Reddit account to join the Curly Girl subreddits, so thank you to everyone who suggested that. And that is a wholesome ending in my opinion, and I love it when they end that, when they talk things through and everything's good in the world again. And there's a new member on Reddit. Amazing. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 2. And our next story comes from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for causing a scene when my sister, 26, stole my pregnancy announcement? My sister, Leela, 28 female, and I, 34 female, are both the children of a single mother. Growing up, I was always closer to our mother since we were closer in age and had similar interests. I was also very quiet and well behaved while my sister was wild. We grew up in the sheltered suburbs, so her behaviour wasn't nearly at the level of a lot of kids generally, but it was a point of stress for my mum. Many moons ago, my sister and my ex-boyfriend started a relationship. I was alright with it since he was my ex-boyfriend in high school. I made a mistake after she got engaged to him, and I'm not justifying this, but when my ex and I had a moment, I gave in and slept with him. I immediately regretted it and told my mum the morning of crying. She was upset at me but understood, and when she tried to console my sister, Leela blew up at her and said that my mum was taking my side instead of hers and was mad that my mum consoled me or whatever. She didn't talk to my mum for a long time after that. Leela is pretty happy now. She's got her life together and earns good money. Her husband is rich and she has this cute baby girl. My mum dotes on the baby ever since Leela has made up with her, takes Leela's side on everything because she's scared of losing her. I recently found out that I'm pregnant. I currently don't have a job and I'm living with my best friend. The baby's father will not be in the picture. After the shit show that was this year, the child is a blessing for me and I'm really happy and couldn't wait to tell my mum. Yesterday we were meeting for a picnic in the park and I was really excited to make my announcement. I'd made cupcakes with blue and pink frosting for everyone. Before I could tell anyone, my sister let everyone know that she's pregnant also. She's 5 months along and knows the gender. Everyone was so elated and I was a bit hurt, but decided to make my announcement as well and revealed my cupcakes. My mum was silent when I told everyone, and when I prodded her, she just said she was worried for me since I don't have a job and she doesn't know how I'm going to survive raising this baby by myself. I started crying and told her that of course she's going to criticise me and compliment my sister, and that the favouritism is starting to show. It really hurt me. My mum got hurt and said it wasn't her intention, and then my stepdad spoke up and said that she was right and it isn't about favouritism, since my sister has got everything figured out and that he doesn't know if I'm capable of raising a child by myself. I yelled at all of them for underestimating me, and that just because I don't have some fancy job doesn't mean I can't raise my baby. I left in a huff. My dad later called me and said that he's sorry if my feelings were hurt, but I really ruined the mood of the picnic by asking mum of her thoughts and ruined my sister's announcement as well as mine. I don't think I'm the arsehole, and I just want to prove it to them. Am I the arsehole? Edit, I made a mistake in the title. My sister is 28, not 26. I think there's also a few typos and grammar mistakes, so sorry. Typos courtesy of iPhone. Now, when I was reading this, what was going through my head is that there was just loads of thoughts of and feelings of sort of reverse jealousy, that this person was the golden child at one point in their life and now the roles were reversed, and now the other sister, Leela, is now the favourite in this situation. And I don't agree that the mother should be playing favourites either way, but this is the sort of feelings I'm getting from this story. But in my opinion, Leela didn't steal this pregnancy announcement. She just made it. She didn't know OP was going to make this announcement in the first place, so it's like, well, surely OP is stealing. It's the other way around. Am I not mistaken here? And let's not forget that she slept with Leela's boyfriend in the past. Oh man, what an absolute mess. And maybe slightly the parents were the arseholes for like expressing that concern at that picnic. I mean, they could have brought it up afterwards about their concerns about not having a job and stuff right there and then. I can kind of tiny, don't jump on my back about this. I can understand a little bit why OP is like, oh, you're happy that she's having a baby, but I'm not, that kind of way. But, you know, OP is the arsehole in the situation. Don't get me wrong here. But let's have a look at the comments below to see what they say. Mellow Tadpole says, you're the arsehole. You slept with her fiance, and you have the gall to ask whether you're the arsehole. She didn't steal your announcement. You stole hers. She announced it first and you were jealous of the spotlight, so you stole it. It's not like she purposely stole it from you. Secondly, it makes sense that you'd be worried for a child if their parent didn't have a job or support within the midst of a global pandemic. What is this BS about favoritism? You slept with your sister's fiance. If I was your parent, you wouldn't be allowed at family gatherings. You'd be disowned on the spot. I can't believe your sister even has the strength to continue the relationship. Nut Michelle says you're the arsehole. She didn't steal your announcement. She didn't know you were making one. Sounds like a lot of you being jealous that you aren't the golden child anymore. Daisy Cherry Blossom says you're the arsehole. Considering from the point of view of your sister, you are the mega arsehole. You did steal her announcement and you caused a scene because you wanted the approval of your mother. You're jealous of the attention that your sister and her family get and you wanted the same thing. But you guys are in different circumstances. It sounds like you were the favourite growing up and now the roles have changed. You're not doing so well with dealing with it. Archeonosis says you're the arsehole. You're in your 30s. Grow up and stop being jealous and petty. Also, you slept with your sister's husband after she was engaged. I don't know how in the world you sleep at night. Yeah, I'm not sure if that comment is right at the end because I think OP said something along the lines of her sister is no longer with a cheating ex-fiance. Her husband is someone else, so yeah, there is that. Thank God. That'd be even more of a mess. Wow. Anyway, what do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 3. And our next story is from JF56. Am I the arsehole for refusing to put my boyfriend on the title of my house or make him a beneficiary? Background, my boyfriend of over 3 years has been living with me for 18 months. We are both in our 30s, happy, and talk about how this is it for us, relationship wise. We are in it for the long haul. Only problem, he does not want to get married and I really do. Marriage is important to me. We've had a lot of talks recently and his vibe has been somewhere between not ready and commitment as far as marriage is stupid, so why bother? After many long discussions I realised that I love him enough to stay and take marriage off the table, even though I want it. He says he doesn't know if he'll ever want to get married. Side note, we both do not want children. Now the issue, I got paperwork for my insurance and was looking through it. I made a joke about how my parents are going to be really comfortable if I die, especially in an accident. They can mourn me in style. Because of my insurance policies and the added accidental death insurance I have, my boyfriend and I then got to talking and he mentioned how I should really change my beneficiary to him. I said no, absolutely not. I told him I would never make anyone who isn't blood or legal family my beneficiary. I said I would add him in the future if one day he decided he wanted marriage with me, but as it stands now, my insurance will remain as is. I also told him that since I own the house we live in myself, I bought it before we got together, that I would never add him to the title without marriage. Am I the arsehole? He is now mad and saying I'm an arsehole for holding marriage as a bargaining chip. We never have to get married, but I'm not comfortable tying into my finances without being married. For added info, I also have a lot of money tied up in my house. He does pay me to live here. My mortgage is almost $1,200 and he pays me $400 a month towards that. I also have a lot of money invested in my house. When I bought it, I used $42,000 that I saved for the down payment. That was all my money and is now equity in the house that he had no part of. At the beginning, they say they've been together for 3 years now, boyfriend and girlfriend. I personally don't feel that's enough time, still, to hand over all your finances to another person like that, your house and your money and everything. I don't think it's quite right to do that at this point in time, especially if you're having those second thoughts personally, you know. And if he's sort of fluctuating on the marriage decision by saying he's not ready or commitment as far as marriage is stupid, so why bother? It does give me some concerns. And I think personally, if I was in that position, I'd be concerned too. Is he really in it for the long haul kind of thing? That would be just thoughts that would be going through my head. I don't know how OP would feel, but let's have a look at the comments below to see what they say. Spoonful of Rage says, not the arsehole. He wants to benefit from marriage, being a legal spouse, without actually getting married. Yeah, no, hard pass. Rose Glass says, not the arsehole. I don't think you're using this as a bargaining chip, but rather being cautious and smart. You have not been together long enough to tie your finances together. He may change his mind about marriage eventually, and you may change your mind and add him without it. Or you may not on both counts, but right now it's absolutely too soon. Miley30 says, he wants the perks of being married, like sharing in wealth, being a beneficiary of your life insurance without the obligations. Pretty reasonable that you're objecting to that. If he wants to stay single, that's fine, but he shouldn't expect you to agree that it's okay to hand over your nest egg or give him the proceedings of your life insurance. Not the arsehole. Remember, Towel Day says, not the arsehole in the least, the house does not belong to him. And if you did add his name to the house and something happened to him, who are his beneficiaries? Would you then be stuck owning your home jointly with his parents? There are only downsides for you if you did that. The hardest parts about marriage are children and commingling finances. With no marriage and no children, you can avoid the financial issues as well. And good for you to keep on top of your documents. And OP replied to that saying, that's a very valid question. I didn't think of that. So yeah, absolutely. What do you guys think of this situation? Have you ever been in a similar situation to this, and how did you deal with it? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 4. Once again, guys, thank you for being here today. You are always truly appreciated. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one, hopefully. Take care, guys. Much love.